Coming up on Greeny Sports Cards Live, we'll hear from the Do Network, Zorro's TCG, and SGC Authentication, plus an interview with one of the nation's most respected vintage card experts, the latest hobby news and views, along with the weekend's can't-miss card shows around the country. All this and more on the other side.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
All right, welcome into Greeny Sports Cards Live, the world's very first multi-stream broadcast for the hobby industry. We're going on well over 2 years now, coming to you live every Tuesday night, along with the man himself, Steve Greenberg, aka Greeny. I am Jeremy Levine, host of your Greeny Sports Cards Live, where we bring you athletes and influencers and sports card producers, coaches, and interesting personalities, along with all the news that's fit to print from the hobby industry. And tonight is no shortage of that. So we'll give it to you here in the rundown with tons of content coming to you. We still have a lot of stuff from the recent Great Lakes Collectors Convention and Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention. Lots of stuff coming out of there. We'll check in with special correspondents, Tony Lane and John Z from the Dude Network, along with Zorro's TCG. And we will hear from Brian from SGC. He'll give you a little peek into the world of authentication. We will get into hobby news with our resident hobby insider, Joe Wismirski, out of Phoenix Sports Cards. And we will check in with one of the nation's most respected vintage dealers and experts, Leighton Sheldon from Just Collect. So lots to get to this evening, lots to recap. We'll take you around the country along with Greeny. He'll take you across the can't miss shows coming up this weekend for the hobby. So that'll take you to Chautauqua and Charleston, South Carolina, along with Colorado, and of course the NFL draft coming up this week. There's a big show, the Next Stuff Card Show, out at the David Lawrence Convention Center, and then some news as well from Topps that will be going on at the draft. So we will go ahead and we'll jump into that now and give you the hobby hits of the week, and let you know that Heavy Lumber and City Connect relics have dominated the April chase list thus far. Yahoo Sports highlights a surge in demand for Heavy Lumber bat barrel relics and City Connect jersey patches, with collectors targeting the April releases like Prism USA Stars and Stripes, Donruss Baseball, and Onyx Vintage for the strongest game-used memorabilia hits of the month. Masters Week collectibles have exploded, including the return of the legendary Masters Gnome. Yahoo Sports reports that Masters Garden Gnomes, originally that sold for $50, are now commanding upwards of $10,000 on the secondary market. Meanwhile, a Fred Couples owned 1952 Mickey Mantle with a PSA grade of 2.5 recently sold for $158,600. It set a new record for that grade. Fanatics secures massive future soccer licensing rights as Panini loses England, Germany, and Italy. The Athletic confirmed that Fanatics via Topps has secured future exclusive trading card and sticker rights for Brazil in 27, England and Germany in 2031, and Italy in 2035, continuing its global shift away from Panini. Panini still retains the World Cup rights through 2030. The late April release calendar is loaded. We'll get into more of this with Joe coming up in a bit, but Sports Collectors Daily confirmed a stacked April 22nd release slate for tomorrow. That includes the 2025-26 Bowman basketball, which is the first NBA Bowman release since 2008-2009, almost 2 decades since Bowman basketball has been on the market. 25-26 Skybox Metal Universe Hockey, 2026 Donruss Road to the World Cup Soccer, which does include Kaboom inserts, and Leaf Metal Baseball 2026 hits tomorrow with a deep auto checklist. There's at least 5 autographs per box, including on-card signatures and a mix of prospects and legends. Topps to host a major football trading card celebration during the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. They announced a collector celebration day during day 3 of the NFL Draft on April 25th. That's Saturday. That will be held on the field at Acrisure Stadium. The free event includes community pack openings, giveaways, pack wars, a youth collector zone, and appearances by former Steelers stars James Harrison and Joey Porter Sr. First 1,000 attendees will receive a free pack of Topps Chrome Football, marking a high visibility promotional push as Topps re-enters the market with the NFL Chrome. So more hobby news and views coming up with our resident hobby insider, Joe Wismierski of Phoenix Sports Cards. And with that, we will go ahead and welcome in the man himself, Steve Greenberg, aka Greeny. And we'll say good evening, Greeny. Welcome to your namesake show.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's another Tuesday night, and I always like to talk ball cards on a Tuesday night. What could be better than that?
Yeah, Greeny, this is episode 113. So we've been doing this 113 almost in a row Tuesdays for the last two plus years. So always a pleasure to check in with you. And the show continues to grow. Our audience continues to grow. We're getting more and more content. And despite Haley, the secret sauce behind the curtain, not being here tonight, we continue to get better and better at this. And it is a pleasure to be with you. We will welcome Joe back to the show here for some hobby news shortly. Greeny, lots to get to still on the Great Lakes Collectors Convention and Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention. Lots of content coming out of there as we still bask in the glow of that. Any thoughts now that you're about 10 days removed from that show?
I mean, still the same. I mean, it was terrific. I'm still getting calls and texts and direct messages about how much fun people had. People keep making posts. I think Logan Harris made a post today about one of the deals that he did. So a lot of content is still coming out from that show.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and check in with some of that. We had special correspondents walking the floor all weekend, and we have from the Dude Network, Tony Lane and John Z. Let's hear a little bit of their adventure on the floor at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention.
What's up, dudes and dudettes?
We're up here at the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention.
And the Great Lakes Collectors Convention here in Independence, Ohio. We're at Greeny Sports Cards.
Yeah, here at the field house.
There's a couple people lingering around, not too crazy.
There's a few booths, a few vendors.
Parking was not filled up at 9:37 when it opened at 9:30. But let's go check it out. We're going to see some of the displays, all kinds of collectibles, Pokemon, Magic, ticket stubs,
sports
collectibles,
vintage,
I see cookies and coffee.
Yeah.
So let's go check this out.
There may be cake.
Let's go. Is that like a sealed tobacco pack where there's a card in it?
Yeah, that's sick.
Check out this. Polar chewing and smoking tobacco. We don't even know what year this is, but it is sealed 1910. That's old. But this Polar tobacco here, $1,200. This is an investment piece right here. I can't believe I'm holding this. I'm going to give this back. I don't want it anymore in my hands.
Dude, the crazy thing about baseball is like all the stuff that they keep from it, like programs. Look at this. Oh my God. I mean, old box, they still got all the box sets.
A helmet kit where you can make your own goalpost display stand. It's included. Here's a cool display.
Yeah, these big displays.
I mean, we are in the Cleveland Browns heaven up here. Here, Joe Thomas is wrangling a registered felon and keeping our community safe.
ABA basketball player.
So we have ABA, pre-NBA patches here from the time periods. This would be late 60s, early 70s.
Dude, this is the vintage booth here so far that we've
I think
seen.
this is the most impressive display of vintage here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 15
Cases.
display cases of nothing but vintage. Again, anything that you possibly need, you can find it here. There's some really cool sealed stuff. We saw some Topps Chrome where you can pull some rookie LeBron, some rookie Kobe's, all that really cool stuff.
They got all the Pokemon, everything else if you're into that kind of stuff. It's not just sports here. There's a lot of collecting.
That is wrapping it up here really quick. We did not do
We covered about this much
Yeah.
of the show. I'm
less,
serious.
Less than half a bit of 1%.
Yeah.
But everybody, hope everybody that came here had a great time. And if you didn't come, make sure you follow Greeny's card shows on Instagram or Greeny Sports Cards.
Facebook.
All kinds of shows. He's doing something every weekend. This is the big one. Don't miss it next year. But stay tuned, and you never know where he's going to be at or what he's going to have going on at each show. But this show's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Greeny.
Yes. Shout out Greeny Sports Cards.
And we will see you next time.
Those are some dudes right there, Jeremy.
Those are a couple of dudes.
Yeah.
Our thanks
Listen, they
to
do a
Tony
great
and
job.
John.
Yeah, the Dude Network's terrific too. Not humbling what they say about us, but they do a terrific job. And I mean, watching their Dude Network on their Instagram, the things that they do, they check out the restaurants, they do some barbecue. It's great. So very, very happy to be friends with those guys.
They do dude stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Especially grilling meat and drinking beer. So good stuff there. Our thanks to Tony and Johnsy from the Dude Network. We're going to check in with Leighton Sheldon a little bit later on more of the vintage market and show. But one of the really unique aspects of the Great Lakes and Strongsville combo, Greeny, was the fact that you had a vintage pavilion, a modern pavilion, and a TCG pavilion. Personally, I had not even heard of One Piece until about 3 months ago. And now it's picking up. It's all the rage. So we had an opportunity to check in with Zorro's TCG, who is one of the leading purveyors of One Piece at this time. And he gives a little bit of insight of what that is.
All right, bet. My name is Zorro, and then I do Pokemon and One Piece. And today we're at the Great Collectors Convention and the Strongsville Collectors Convention. Yesterday was Heat Saturday, so today is ending a little bit early, but I know it's about to be just as good today. So, I mean, like, we have some One Piece cards laid out here. As a card game, it came out 4 or 5 years ago, and it really picked up popularity recently. So, you know, sometimes you'll get players come by they'll be making decks, so they'll need like playables from the new set. But, you know, it's cool. It's cool. It's like a very, very active, very live market. So when there's not a lot of vendors with it, then you're like, you know, you're in demand, and then, yeah, it's definitely popping right now. My biggest One Piece card is this Nami right here, around 1880, 1900. Just last month, it was like 24, 25. And then the quality control on the One Piece cards is really nice too. So they have like a gem rate, usually in like 80, 85. Some even have like 100% gem rate for some cards. But yeah, I actually have a homie here who's about to pick this card up off me right now. So something he's been looking for a while. We got 1800 coming in here. We got 50 going back. Just hyped to be in the One Piece crowd, and like, you know, people always show you love. The community is really nice. And I'm on Instagram at Zorro's TCG. So give me a follow and pull up on me at the next show. I got you. Thank you.
When Zorro first started coming around and he messaged us for tables, I thought he was going to have an eye patch, but he didn't. He's a really nice guy. He's from Columbus, and he comes up and does a lot of our shows, especially the TCG heavy shows, the Great Northern Mall or the TC Greeny. But yeah, he's everywhere. He is out there hustling.
He is swashbuckling across the country here in Northeast Ohio. Before we get to hobby news, Greeny, vintage TCG, within that space, within the hobby, you've got grading and authentication. We also caught up with Brian at CGC, along with JSA, had a big presence at the show. And for those neophytes or those who don't understand the importance of authentication, there's a little bit of insight for you as well.
My name is Brian High, and I'm with CGC. CGC is Certified Guarantee Company, as we like to say, comic grading correctly, or cards graded correctly. We do comics, sports cards, Pokemon cards, TCG. If you have comics or sports cards that have been autographed by someone, you can send them in to us. We will get the autograph authenticated through JSA, and then we'll also encapsulate your sports card, your Pokemon card, comic, magazine, so that you can preserve it for a lifetime. The show has been spectacular. Kind of caught me off guard because there was quite a bit of personnel coming in to get their cards and comics graded. So kind of caught me a little bit off guard, but we brought a lot of boxes. So if I can go home and not have to ship any back, that would be absolutely wonderful. Mostly because I like to see people getting their memorabilia encapsulated and preserved. And that's what we do. We ensure that your autographed sports card, your comic, whatever you have is preserved for future generations. And also getting a grade on it helps if you're trying to get it resold, then knowing what actual grade you have for it is even better.
Yeah, I tell you that the line for those guys was pretty busy all weekend long. Definitely the JSA side of the autograph authentication. I know I submitted several things that we needed certified, and then I know that the CGC was booming as well. And I mean, those guys do a terrific job there. Josh Siegel at JSA, they were churning things out and getting people taken care of really quick that weekend.
Absolutely. You know who else takes care of things, Greeny? Our sponsors. They help support the show, and one of those is Giannino's Pizzeria.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm a year older now, so Mommy can give me Giannino's Pizza. Hey, whoever thought of making a great tasting Giannino's Pizza with all these fresh ingredients? They gotta be some kind of genius. More, Mommy!
Every Giannino's pizza is made with fresh dough, delicious tomato sauce without additives or preservatives, and fresh provolone cheese shredded daily. For a location near you, go to Gianninos.com.
You want a piece of me?
I do want a piece. So
We've got locations all across Ohio. If you're anywhere in and around the state and you got a hankering for some pizza, some wings, some chicken, breadsticks, salad, terrific salad dressing.
Salad dressing tonight. I did.
I bet you did. No lies detected. Check out Gianninos.com and get yourself a pizza today. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to unleash the most unpredictable force in the hobby. He is the desert-dwelling deal maker of Phoenix sports cards, the sultan of slabs, the breaker of boxes, the crusher of cases, and the maestro of market movers. He's the hobby's unofficial commissioner of chaos, the headband-wearing truth-teller who fears no comp, no chase, no checklist. From Phoenix, Arizona, our friend, headband Joe Wismirski.
With a hat.
There it is.
I gotta get it washed. I gotta get it washed
every now and again.
So
that's a good thing.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
thanks for having me.
Back. Yeah, I know you were out in Vegas. You had a little basketball tournament there for the daughter, and
yep,
she's climbing the ranks there. It's a good thing we know some women's basketball coaches, so we're gonna pass that along. Yeah,
yeah, cool. That and out here in Arizona, you know, we're the human oven, or I guess the world's oven. We already have flag football starting back up for the women too. So they have their spring season. We had a scrimmage last night, and she's doing double duty right now. So it's fantastic.
So and all the while, all this is going on, Topps Chrome football just smacked us in the face the other day, right? And came out guns a-blazing, high prices, amazing I don't know if the cards are amazing, but the prices are amazing. And actually, those case hit things, I don't even know how you pronounce what that thing is called, but pretty
Kaiju.
cool stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, they have quite a few. They have the Kaiju. They have the Helix, Ultraviolets. There's a whole bunch. And not only that, but this is the first time there's been a product that we already know who the MVP race is and who the
We do.
chase is for the buyback, which is Matt
Well,
Stafford. So
yeah, because most people don't realize. Well, they do. I'm not saying that they don't. It's a 25 product, right? So, of course, Stafford's the MVP, and that the buyback.
yeah, Steve, it's been absolutely insane. It's very hard to find on the shelves. I predict that it's going to get even crazier this week with the NFL draft.
Sure.
Just because we're not just talking about people that are in the hobby, we are now talking about casual fans of sports in the NFL in general that are now being exposed at a crazy level that they've never been exposed to, trading cards and hobby paraphernalia, we should say. Right now it's everywhere. It smacks them in the face at Target and Walmart. Even on TV, you see everything from repack products like Arena Club on NFL Network having spots. So it'll be pretty interesting this week. I think you will see a continued surge in this product. Not only are we in the midst of, we're still only 6 days since the release, number one, but there also was a release, or that you had the opportunity to buy Topps Finest Football yesterday. That dropped again and sold out, $600 a box.
Yep.
We have Bowman Basketball that releases this week. You have Disney Neon, Metal Hockey. Everyone's chasing Celebrini continually, and he's going to be having discussions this offseason about staying with the San Jose Sharks for a long time. So the hobby is just surging, and we're just talking sports. We're not even talking the other giant elephant in the room, which is the non-sports sector that is continuing to take off.
Just saw Zorro sold a one-piece card for $1,800.
Yeah, Zorro's actually the name of one of the characters too. So,
well,
what's funny is I wanted to tell Jeremy that he was mentioning that he didn't know much about One Piece, but there are some showrunners in the Midwest that don't allow One Piece to be sold at their shows, Steve, because they say
I saw that.
Are too graphic in sexual nature. Steve, if you follow the anime at all, some of the characters that they're referring to,
yeah, fine,
are guys.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Steve didn't want to touch that one.
Come on, Steve.
It's all right. I get it. Yeah. Yes,
Steve,
I appreciate that. What's that?
You were also talking about like the Dude and the Dude Network and grilling meat. Like I sent you the picture of that shirt that I'm going to get for the National.
I saw that. That's nonsense.
Yeah,
cut the nonsense.
That's great. Yeah, so maybe we can get that shirt vendor to be a sponsor.
I could. Yeah. So now that you caught me off guard, and well, you didn't. I actually caught every bit of it, but chose to take the low road. I want to do this Topps Chrome here for a second. I want to go back to that because rookie Prism autos of Josh Allen. Is that crazy? 5 years later, 7 years later, he was a rookie in 2018, 8 years old.
Listen, this is why it's not crazy. Are you ready?
Please.
Gentleman comes into the shop today. He has a 2012 LeBron first-year Prism PSA 10 base card.
Okay.
The last one of these base cards sold for $1,100 as a PSA 10. First-year Prism.
Yeah.
Dude, it is a circle, Steve. We've seen it before. We knew it was coming. We've seen it before.
Yeah, but there's a big difference, I believe, in Topps Chrome football and Topps Chrome basketball. and I know neither of them have been around for however many years. We've done the math. There are way more stars, I believe, in the NFL than there are in NBA, right? There's so many quarterbacks, and people are buying those crazy. In basketball, you have your Wemby, you have your LeBron, you have your Shea and Curry, but I think there's way more stars in the NFL that people are
Steve,
buying and driving up these prices.
let me tell you why you're wrong. Okay. And
Please.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong often. So let me get this one moment.
Please.
Basketball is much more of an international sport and has much more of an international following than the NFL. So I think the stars argument is kind of
Okay.
it's a moot point because like Jokic, I mean Shea, even being Canadian, Luca, all these guys, they bring that international flavor, and honestly, the Asian market drives crazy numbers for Topps Chrome NBA.
But I think
just
there's
can't agree.
less. I think there's less stars per team in the NBA than there are in the NFL. I think you can go probably to 90% of the NFL teams and pick a player that people are going to buy. Like, let's just take the Cavaliers. They're playing the Toronto Raptors. Nobody cares about buying any players on the Toronto Raptors. Scotty Barnes is a stud. Brandon Ingram is a stud. Nobody cares. Justin Herbert sells, right? His team doesn't do anything. Like, quarterbacks sell way more than non. Like,
Yeah,
there's
but you're
way more
talking,
stars in the NFL than there are in the NBA.
yeah, 12-man rosters against 53-man. I mean,
Well,
it's a numbers game too.
no, it's not, because it's a star is if you're a star, you're going to play no matter how many players are on your roster. I mean, there's the Orlando Magic. Who are you buying on that team, right? I mean, you can go down the
Carroll.
NFL. Really?
Yeah, Franz Wagner. Like, Steve,
You're
I'm
putting
telling
Franz
you,
Wagner cards away for your grandkids? That's the most important thing he's ever said, and it froze up.
old
I
Franz
froze.
Wagner. I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't. I missed the whole thing. Maybe I froze up. Maybe I'm the one that froze.
Well, I want to let you know that Franz Wagner sells 100%.
Okay.
So much so that they had a regular season game over in Germany. Regular season, middle of this, like they're expanding that global market. I just think that also the March Madness machine drives a lot of this stuff too. You'll see it again. I mean, with Bowman basketball, I was shocked to see that, they added the first Bowmans into Bowman basketball, and then they also did a release either yesterday or today for Bowman's Best University basketball. Like, there's no shortage of product to get your hands on if you're a fan. It's just, how much money do you have, and are you willing to spend to get a hold of that product? And are singles more important than ever? Sure, but we're starting to even see a shortage in the card shops now. People will come in and they're looking for singles of Topps Chrome NFL. And I have to tell somebody, you know what? When they sell for $100 a blaster, people are taking all of their singles. They're not leaving things behind. And if they do, and we have to buy that, expect your single base cards to be anywhere from $2 to $5 for a base card. That's just what it is. The bigger issue that I want to talk to you about, Steve, when we talk about the cost and everything, and I talked to you about this morning, and I'm really passionate about this, and I think it's nuts. I think people that do this are wild, and this is my take. This is not Phoenix Sports Cards. This isn't Greeny. This is mine. When you offer someone a deal to buy a hobby box or buy a hobby product, and you're choosing to put that price at X, and you say it comes with a caveat, we're going to slice the box open so you can't keep it sealed or do whatever you want with it. I think that is absolutely terrible. And I think it sets a terrible precedent. And I wouldn't be shocked if a little bit later down the road, if maybe some of these companies, when they're coming direct, will give you a price break on the item, but it won't be sealed. and then that opens a whole can
Yeah.
of worms. Like,
No, I know we did talk about it, and I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Like I would never buy one that's unsealed, right? Because I don't open the boxes. I want to buy it, put that on my shelf for 10 years from now. So I need it sealed. So they're not going to sell me that box for $500. But for the person that likes to rip, what do they care?
but what is the problem? Why do the shop owners, why do they feel the need to have the control to do something like that? I think that's crazy.
Oh.
That's absolutely crazy. When you complete a transaction, you do it. Like, Steve, if I celebrate my birthday and you decide to give me, you're doing it with the intention of expecting me to do the same for you, right? Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Like that, I think that just sets a terrible precedent going forward.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying that there's people that don't mind that. If somebody's going to offer me a box of cards for half price that's unsealed and I'm a ripper, I'm going to take it. I don't understand why they
the
do
crazy
it.
part,
First
Steve.
off.
They weren't
Yeah.
right, but they weren't offering half price. They were still making a couple of $100s off of what
Whatever.
the initial
Right.
box.
No, I know it wasn't half price, but half price based on $1,000 box.
Yeah. So,
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
oh, hey, something just came in hot off the presses.
It's literally hot too. It was in the truck.
Is that Jerry Kuzman rookie?
We just got our Nolan Ryan rookie just back from PSA. I thought it looked better than a 5 when we initially made the purchase,
Good
but
card.
we'll take that.
Good card.
It's a sharp guy.
Hey, Joe, before we let you go, we're going to throw out the question of the day. And this was prompted. I was thinking about fantasy football and how I don't do it anymore. I did it 1 year, 20 years ago, and it completely changed the way I watch the game. And so we're asking, how has collecting changed the way you view big sporting events? We've got the NBA playoffs going on. The NFL draft is coming up. As a fan, how have you, if at all, changed the way you watch the game because of collecting? So we'll throw that out. And if you want to drop a comment on any of the platforms you are watching, let us know if the hobby has changed how you consume sports.
Well, Jeremy, as a man of great integrity, this is how I'm the worst fantasy football player of all time, because I refuse to pick players on any rival team. I won't cheer for anyone. I actually had 6 Detroit Lions players on my team for fantasy, which is a huge conundrum come the bye week, right? 100%. But that's also who I collect. I just collect the guys that I cheer for. I really don't hold on to anyone that I don't. I'm a homer. And that's been great in the past because I've been able to build my collection off of guys who are very, very low value as rookies, and now they've start to come into their own. Like Jerry, who opens tons of product at our shop, just basically gave away every Amon-Ra St. Brown rookie that ever came out of his boxes. I mean, at that point, he was a 3rd round draft pick. Nobody cared about him. Now he's an all-pro guy. So
there you go.
Good stuff.
You mentioned the shop, Joe. Let everybody know where they can find you in person and on the interwebs.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for allowing me to do this every week, because we do have people that come into the shop and they're like, hey, I saw you on Greeny. I've seen you at these places. So we appreciate that so much. You can find us at Phoenix Sports Cards, 59th and Thunderbird in Glendale, Arizona. You can also find us at PHX Sports Cards on Instagram. And then Mondays at 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sports Card Nonsense Network, Sports Card Confessions. It's a one-man show, and we bring people on and we talk about everything from WrestleMania to TCG to sports. So I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you, Joe, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Oh, wow. He had something to say.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Jeremy had a quick trigger. If you're looking to get a table and you're in the Charleston area, you're foolish if you don't have a table yet. You're absolutely foolish. It is a crazy busy show. There's wonderful tables, wonderful vendors. It's an untapped market for shows. You're missing out. If you are a there are so many collectors in those areas. It's crazy. So don't be foolish. Contact Greeny Sports Cards. Get a table.
Perfect.
All right, Joe, we appreciate it. That's the Mountain State Collectors Convention he's talking about, May 15th through 17th. Our thanks to Joe Wismierski, Phoenix Sports Cards, our resident hobby insider. And Greeny, before we get to Leighton Sheldon, which we're looking forward to that conversation, we're going to take everybody around the country for the hottest card shows of the week as we bring you Card Show Live.
Welcome on into this edition of Card Show Live, where we're going to preview some of the hottest card shows around the country. Starting here in Northeast Ohio, the Kirtland Show this Saturday, April 25th, the show where everybody knows your name, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Small but mighty show. This show's been going on about 7 years, and it's 40 tables with everything from sports to TCG and things in between. We love this very family-friendly show. Free admission, the Kirtland Senior Center, this Saturday, April 25th, Kirtland, Ohio, the show where everybody knows your name. From there, we're going to keep going east to Chautauqua, New York, Chautauqua Mall, and our friend Johnny Ball Cards, John, who does work with us here at Greeny Sports Cards, has a show up at Chautauqua Mall. This is the second show that he's going to be doing. The first one, rave reviews. Adam went up there. A lot of people did. And they'll be back at Chautauqua Mall. 40 tables with a great mix. John's got vendors all sorts from all the way up from Buffalo to Erie, from the eastern part of Ohio. So Chautauqua Mall this Saturday, April the 25th, mall hours 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. From there, we're going to head out west, the SoCo Card Show in Pueblo, Colorado. And I actually emailed Jeremy there, and he gave me a nice big rundown of their show that started in 2020, just after COVID, with about 30 tables, and it's evolved to 100 tables now. And they get people from Albuquerque, from Cheyenne, Wyoming, that come to the Pueblo. In the show's about 50-50 sports, TCG, with some memorabilia in between. One of Colorado's favorite shows that he tells us. Even have a local teacher that takes donations and makes packs and rewards. Kids are doing good in their classes. So they have a group coming. They teach people how to play Magic the Gathering. So great show there. Pueblo, Colorado, the SoCo Card Show. From there, we're going to head back east and go down to Charleston, South Carolina, to the Citadel Mall, where Matt from Collector's Corner has been running shows. Matt owns 2 stores in the Charleston area, the Collector's Corner. Our friend Thomas Fisher is going to be down there buying this weekend. So check out the Citadel Mall, 140 tables, Charleston, South Carolina. If you've never been to Charleston, South Carolina, it's a beautiful town. So I highly recommend going there. So much so, our Akron head coach left Akron, John Gross, to go coach at Charleston. So the Citadel Mall, Saturday, April 25th. And then another show that we're going to be attending, Adam and I are going to head to Pittsburgh for the Next Up Card Show, April 24th and 25th, the David Lawrence Center. The draft is going on this weekend. Pittsburgh is going to be jam-packed. Tons of vendors. I think there's like 400 tables. It's got some of the high-powered vendors from around the country are going to be there. King of Cards, Grand Slam, Mojo, and then Wes, who runs the show. They do a terrific job. So we're going to go hang out there for the weekend. We're going to enjoy Pittsburgh, which is not easy for us Clevelanders to say, but it is going to be a great time. There's going to be a lot of action in that city, and we can't wait to be at the Next Up Card Show, April 24th and 25th this weekend. And that is your rundown of Card Live on some of the hottest shows around the country.
Good stuff, Greeny. There is no shortage of events and no shortage of people supporting the industry. And one of those is our friend Dave Cook over at Sport Card Auctions. If you are looking to turn your card collection into serious cash at Sport Card Auctions, they'll make it simple for you. They've got professional services. You just have to ship your cards and their expert team will handle everything else from photography to listing to shipping. They've got over 15 years of experience and a 99% satisfaction rating. They are the trusted choice for thousands of collectors, whether it's vintage, legends, or modern hits. Maximize your return with competitive consignment rates and professional service. Start your consigning today at sportcardauctions.com, where your cards get the spotlight they deserve. So, Greeny, I need no better testimonial than you use them yourself. So that tells me all I need to know.
That's right. I have a stack of cards on my desk ready to go out to Dave. I try to add a couple cards all the time and then send a big package once and let him do the work. So very easy.
There you go. Greeny, very excited for our next guest, who is one of the most respected vintage experts in the hobby. Leighton Sheldon is the president and founder of Just Collect, one of the nation's largest buyers of vintage sports cards and memorabilia. He entered the hobby as a kid, set up his first booth in 1989, as legend has it, and he also worked his way through Rutgers, buying and selling cards, and later became director of acquisitions at Leland's Auctions before launching Just Collect in 2006. Since then, he and his team have purchased and appraised more than 50 million in vintage collections, traveling tens of thousands of miles each year to uncover some of the most remarkable finds in the hobby. Most recently, he was at the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention here in Independence, really Cleveland, Ohio, and it is our pleasure to welcome to the show Leighton Sheldon.
Hi, man.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
We're doing well. We are still recovering from that show about 10 days ago. I know you had a great time there. I saw you bouncing around doing a lot of deals. So before we get into your background on that, tell us a little bit about how your trip to Cleveland was.
Oh, it was fantastic. Beyond doing business, I had the good fortune to see a number of friends. Greg was from one coast, Tony was from the south. I had friends from the east. And, I think what makes Strongsville / I'm not sure really what the new convention is called. So for now, I'm going to call it Strongsville Greeny. I think that's one of my favorite parts of it is the ability to, not just do business, but to see friends from all over the place in a very intimate setting. And the National's great, but the National has dealers from all over that deal in so many different things. And so you have this wonderful concentration of folks who not only collect vintage, but they have friends who've been collecting vintage kind of like alongside of them for, in some cases, dozens of years. And so it's really nice to just be a small part of that experience.
Yeah, we can go on about that show, and what we love about it and why we invited it over is it is an intimate experience, and it's one that people save up for an entire year. And I'm not talking save money; they save their time. Like, this is the show that they want to come to. The National, oh, it's awesome. It is a huge carnival of cards, right? This one is just a small gathering with some of the most powerful vintage dealers in the country. And I mean, people come from all over just for this show.
Yeah, shout out to Carl. He came in from Australia.
Right.
I mean, you really had people from all over. And I think that the way that, whether it be you, Greeny, I'm not sure if you get to take credit, or management, because I'm not sure if you manage. You try to make it appear as though you do, but I know the real deal. But anyway, joking aside, you had a very easy division of the sections of the card show. So if you really were like anti-TCG or modern, you didn't have to see any of it. But I would say, for someone like myself, maybe after being there for a few days, I did take a gander one morning and I ran into a local gentleman by the name of Jack, who's a basketball kind of coach and legend out there. I've known him for years. And so, it was just a wonderful experience for me, on top of all the business that we were able to accomplish.
Leighton, I've long said this because I've been in the hobby since 2000, my exposure to the National and in the production, but I don't buy and sell cards. I'm not in the day-to-day of it, but my favorite part of the hobby is the collecting of relationships and friendships. And that's what these shows do. They bring people together, and the experience to spend 2-3 days with people you may only get to see once a year, if that, is really my favorite part. We want to take you back as well. You as legend has it, your first shows as a kid. Take us back to that, and what attracted you to the hobby, And then fast forward a little bit, we know some of the obvious changes, but with you in the vintage space, what has really changed since those early days you got involved until now?
Sure. So a lot wrapped up in there. So number one, what's changed a lot is the pricing. And of course, if I had known what I know today back then, like, taking that Back to the Future, guide that I guess Biff tries to buy, like the almanac, when he goes back, in the future or whatever the case may be. My point is, if I had the ability, I would go back and instead of buying, 89 Donruss Ken Griffey Jr. cards, or in some cases, even the 83 Topps Wade Boggs cards that I bought that I thought were so precious. They're still precious, but they just weren't a particularly good investment considering what, for example, you could have bought, even albeit a low grade Ty Cobb T206 red portrait for. Because I remember seeing that card and thinking, like, oh, I didn't even know that those were real cards at some point. When I realized that they were, it was like, oh, I don't have a couple of cards like that from my childhood, but nothing certainly like I could have had I had that crystal ball, of course. And then, what led me to, because just you had brought it up, what led me to splitting a table with two other folks, friends of mine, Kenny Reed and Mark Piron. All these years later, I remember their names, and we keep in touch through social. It was like a $35 or a $40 table. We split it three ways because we didn't know if we were going to sell anything. That's the God's honest truth. We were all young kids. It was like our parents dropped us off as if we were going to a play date, but really it was this convention and they figured we were all together. It was at a local temple. Like, how bad could it be? And I remember even getting my first taste of negotiation because I had this makeshift, I can close my eyes and picture exactly what it was. I had a milk crate. And on top of that, I could still hear my mother yelling at me. I took like this three-tiered, call it this tchotchke type of purple shelf that she had. And I rigged it together to the milk crate. And I had like what was like a little stand. So I had this 89 Donruss Ken Griffey Jr. along with some other cards. And I remember someone came up to me and said, oh, I really like that card. I'm like, oh, so do I. It's a great card. And so we started talking. And the fellow was like, oh, I'll give you $6 for it. And Greeny, I swear to God, this is exactly how it went down because I didn't understand at that time. My father didn't give me any prep. I didn't have an older brother. I'm the oldest of four. So I said, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I think you misread it. It's $8. And he thought I was like negotiating with him. Meanwhile, I didn't know any better. So probably 15 minutes later, I understood what was happening. I took my $6 happily. I think I made my first sale. And, I haven't looked back since.
And kind of all around the country. You buy, you sell, you're at tons of shows, you're at the National. You've created this breaking for vintage. This is the modern world. We just talked to Joe about Topps Chrome, and nobody's buying a single box of Topps Chrome, but 30 people are splitting it in a breaks. But you've actually created vintage breaks, and kind of give us a little insight onto that.
Sure. So in a nutshell, as a collector first, walking around the National at this point, I don't sound like an old man, but probably 10 years ago. And at that point, I think they were calling it the Case Break Pavilion. And, all of us, myself included in this group, Greeny, we weren't even going in there. Like we thought it was weird, right? We didn't quite understand what was happening. And so I think it was like a Saturday or Sunday. I do this religiously at every National. I try to allow some time for myself, not just to like buy things, but to catch up with old friends and check out some new things, see new trends, etc. So I end up in this Case Break Pavilion. I'm walking around and I'm like fascinated because it seems like there's constant action, right? Commerce is happening. It seems like pretty quick. Meanwhile, these old time dealers in the other room are, what's all this noise? What's all this ruckus? And I agree. I was one of these guys. So I'm walking around, and once I could discern and figure out fairly quickly what was happening, it was really exciting to me. And what I had been doing prior to, let's say, that experience, that National, was maybe for a couple of years in a row, I was finally in a good place where I could bring a pack to the National that was vintage. I was going to open it, and I would hope to get some cards that would maybe grade high. Maybe I'd keep them, maybe I wouldn't. And I was shocked because I wasn't selling spots, Jeremy. I wasn't giving away bonuses, Greeny. I was just doing it purely for the love of it. And by the time it ever became a commercial idea for me, I probably had maybe almost 24 people watch me open a vintage pack at the National just at my booth. And so when I saw the case break pavilion, on the right side of the brain and on the left side of my brain, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but I don't really open up modern anymore. I really like vintage. And so I was curious if people would like vintage as much as they liked modern. And it may not be the same amount of people, but make no mistake, there is absolutely a group of folks that are excited about being able to participate. Even when I say participate, even if they can't afford to buy, or they're not someone who would buy quote unquote a spot, i.e. a card, and let's say like an old cello pack, they just like watching it being opened, myself included. And I think that's one of the coolest parts about operating vintage breaks and running those style of breaks. And we've actually carried that over, if you will, in terms of like set breaks. And I know some of your, let's say, audience may have heard of that, and some folks may not have heard of that. We're not the only people who do set breaks of vintage variety. But what I really like is you can see, Topps Chrome Football included, how expensive some of the modern product is getting and has become over recent years. And so, for example, if you buy into, I'm making it up, a 1958 Topps baseball set break, I think there's 494 cards. Well, I can tell you there's multiple mantles. There's a Roger Maris rookie. There's a wonderful All-Star series. There's a Ted Williams card leading off the set. And the point is that for a fixed amount, let's just say I'm making this up, it's $15. The worst you're going to do is you're going to get a common card. And maybe that common card's $5. But you're not taking a bath like buying $1,000 box of vintage football and only getting $5 out of it. And so we've come up with these different ways, guys, to offer vintage breaking to folks that may enjoy that as far as their collecting goes.
Yeah, the set break it's very interesting to me, and I've seen that with sets like that. The '86 Fleer set is the most iconic, and the set break to that, and you're right. Whatever the random number is, $100, $500, you can win a Michael Jordan rookie card for X amount of dollars, and just I mean, but you're going to get one of the cards in the set. It's not like you're going to buy the Miami Dolphins and they don't hit a card and you're just out of it. You're getting a card no matter what.
It's one of the reasons why I like offering it the way that we do, because what we can guarantee you is an experience. We don't know what card you're going to get, but I can guarantee you someone's going to get the Jordan. Someone's going to get the Barkley. And it's funny that you brought up the '86 Fleer, because we did not talk about this prior to me coming on. But believe it or not, we've done over 100 set breaks of 1986 Fleer basketball.
Wow. I mean, it's probably the most iconic set ever made. Well, because of the Michael Jordan rookie, it's become the iconic set, right? Which is a junk era card, to be honest with it. So, but yeah, amazing. It's really awesome. And we've all lived through the ups and downs, the COVID boom and down, and now we're back again. Is there something that you have regretted selling?
Oh, sure. Yeah, many a card. In fact, if I really want to make myself ill, all I have to do is go back to, let's say, like Heritage or REA auctions and look at the consignor portal of 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and see some of the things that I've sold. It hurts a little bit, but to be clear, I don't regret any of them, because I know that in our 20th year of businesses here as the Just Collect owner, I wouldn't be in the same place, and our team and our community would not be in the same place if I was not, selling along the way. And I've had the good fortune of also building a collection, and focusing on guys that I happen to like, but they're also the right people, like Michael Jordan and Jackie Robinson, and started collecting photography a while ago. So, there's certainly still lanes, but make no mistake, yes, there's regrets, but nothing that I would change in terms of my course as far as my life goes.
Laying the internet and the online selling has certainly changed the hobby and the market. But I want to go back to the experiential side, and whether it's the national or the show. Can you talk about a moment where somebody came up to the booth? Maybe it was somebody newer to a show or a new collector, that saw Mickey Mantle for a first time, or they landed on a Frank Robinson? What is the magic in that you've seen where somebody just gets inspired about collecting?
Sure, if I may, I'm actually going to take you kind of outside of the show. And so last year, and I don't want to be mistaken, but I believe this is what happened. The National had a trade night, and it was like all encompassing, meaning you had like a soccer section, you had a vintage section, you had a modern section, and it was all under one roof. And one of the nights I know there was like a bigger vintage contingency than not. And so I went that night, and with no intention of really doing business, just to kind of, see what was going on, maybe say hi and possibly buy a card or two from a kid or something like that. And so what happened was so much more special than that, because as I was walking around, I met a little girl and her dad, and I forgot exactly how it went down, but effectively I gave her a vintage card. And it's the kind of thing that, I didn't really put, let's say, much thought into other than at that moment. And I could tell by her smile, she was very pleased. And fast forward, Greeny and Jeremy, to the Strongsville. I wasn't there for the Saturday night trade night. I was there for, like, I guess you call it a Friday get together at one of the hotels. And there's a lot of vintage folks. And you wouldn't believe it, but that girl was there with her dad. And they stopped me dead in my tracks. And you could tell I had done something that made them happy, because they were smiling very wide. And I remembered the little girl very well. And so I believe that in some way, shape, or form, that has influenced her journey, because she believes that, right, it's not just a one-way street, i.e., give me your money, I'll sell you a card, right? There's a lot of community going on. And I will tell you, my son, who's 11, shout out to my son Crosby, he's experienced the same thing. Sharon from Black Jade Wolf, we've actually gone out to dinner with her and Siobhan. And like, my son doesn't really understand, why does someone give someone a card? Because in his world, like, she shares toys with people, but no one gives him a toy. They want the toy back at the end of the play date. And so it really stuck with me that whether it was that little girl and her dad or others like that, we don't realize the impact that even just making like a little joke or showing someone attention. My son remembers all of it through the years. He may not remember your name, but he remembers if you made him laugh. He remembers if you made him feel good. He remembers if you brought a smile to his daddy's face. And so I believe that that's all part of the much bigger experience of going to a convention. And I think that's what you're referring to, Jeremy. Hopefully that was a good description.
No, it is, and that's one of the reasons why we do a lot of the things that we do, and appreciate seeing that and hearing those stories. That is terrific. We could go on for hours and hours about these types of things, and well, we can't. We have an hour and a few minutes left. Before we go, where can people find Just Collect and Vintage Breaks online?
Sure. So you can check out our websites at justcollect.com and vintagebreaks.com. If you're someone who's on Instagram, you can follow me personally at Leighton_Sheldon. Or if it's easier, you can email me directly at Leighton, Leighton, at justcollect.com. And I want to encourage you, even if you don't have anything to sell and you're merely just looking at something in your collection or something in an auction house, I get tons of inquiries like this. Hey, Leighton, what do you think about such and such? I'll be happy to give you my thoughts. You can reach out anytime.
Awesome. Leighton, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for being with us in Northeast Ohio recently, and we will see you down the road.
Absolutely. I appreciate sincerely the opportunity to be on with both of you guys, and great job with the convention. I can't wait for next year.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
All right. Our thanks to Leighton Sheldon from Just Collect. Our thanks to Joe Wismirski from Phoenix Sports Cards, to Tony Lane and John Z, to Zorros, to Brian from SGC for checking in on the show tonight. Greeny, most of all, thank you for allowing us to do this every week. May the cards forever be in your favor.
See you next Tuesday.